Hi, grade 2. It is time for math. In math today, we're going to be continuing our practicing of measuring an area of a shape. So this time for this activity, we're going to be using some squares, 5 squares, and trying to find the many different arrangements that you could make with using just those 5 squares. Now, today's page is page 208 in your Math Makes Sense book. And it asks you to use 5 snap cubes and find as many arrangements as you can. If you have snap cubes, go for it. Go ahead to do that. One thing though, there are a couple rules you need to do. If you are using snap cubes, you need to make arrangements that are 2-dimensional. That is, you can't have branches going up and down and across. So you have to make sure that the arrangements you make can be flat on a surface without any of the snap cubes going in a different direction. All right, so if you don't have snap cubes, you can use the squares printout that you had from the lesson on Monday. So today you can use these squares and all you will need are 5 squares. Now what does it mean? How many different arrangements can you make? This is the point of the lesson. The point of the lesson is you can have several different shapes all with the same measure of 5 square units. So 5 square units can make up many different shapes and arrangements. So we're going to do some of that just so that we can really understand that idea that we can have many different shapes that all have the same area measurements. All right, so I have cut out 5 blue squares to use for the lesson today. The blue, I just chose blue because I had it around still from my pop-up page and I was going to reuse those pop-up pages. I also have a whiteboard here and maybe you can see some of the shine from it, but I have some sticky tape there to help me to place these squares in several different arrangements, and then you will be able to see it on the video. So the first arrangement that I have thought of is one that looks like an L, lowercase l. So I'm going to put those in an arrangement. Ooh, my fingers are sticking to the sticky tape too. That's not the idea, but that's okay. We can work with it. So far I have 4 and I need to put 1 more. So you can put them all in a line. Now here are some rules that you need to follow when you are making the arrangements. Do you notice that when I placed these squares together, I made sure that their corners matched and their edges matched? That's a rule. You have to make sure that whatever arrangement you have, the edges have to match and the corners have to match. I'll explain. This is the difference. So you could not make this arrangement because it is only touching by a corner and not, or vertice, and not an edge or a side. So I'll just take that back and put it here. This also is not allowed because the edge is not completely matched up. All right, so I'm just going to put that back to that all in a column arrangement. Once you have made one arrangement, you need to record it on your page 208, by shading in 5 squares in the same arrangement as you have made with your squares. So what's the point again? Why are we doing this? Okay, some of you got it. It's to make sure that we understand that there are more than one way to have a same measure and same area measure. This is 5 units squared in this area. This area is 5 square units. All right, so then you need to take a color. I've got some coloring pencils here. And I'm just going to choose pink. And in your book on page 208, you're going to shade in the squares that match that same arrangement. I would advise to start on one edge because you might be able to have several different arrangements. You want to leave room for those arrangements as well. I'm going to show you another very similar arrangement. Can you figure it out? Okay, I'm just going to move this last square. I gave you a little bit of a hint when I said halfway matched. I'm going to put this one on the bottom so that it looks like an L, a capital L. So then my next step would be to count that I have used all of the 5 square units. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And that I followed the rules. I have matched corners and a side. So I have followed the rules. This is allowed. This arrangement is allowed. Something else to keep in mind is that it might look different from when you arrange it. But this is this exact same arrangement as my original here. Why is that? Why are those two exactly the same? That's right. Back from our geometry unit, we learned about flips and turns and slides. This is the same as this arrangement because of a flip. You could actually do it. No, you have to do this as a flip, not a turn. All right, so it has to be a completely different arrangement that cannot be matched up with a flip, a turn, or a slide. It has to be different arrangement. And then once you have made the arrangement, then you're going to take your color again and refer to your page 208. On page 208, you're going to shade in the squares that match with the arrangement. So 4 down and 1 across to make capital L. Now, I'm not going to tell you how many arrangements there are. There are a number of them. And at our Thursday Zoom, we're going to, when I check in, now you don't have to be there, but if you are there, I'm going to check in to see how many arrangements you were able to come up with in your 5 squares. Bring your page 208 to the Zoom meeting. I'm inviting you to bring it there to see who comes up with the most number, the greatest number of arrangements using 5 squares. And then we can check each other's work and see how it goes. So page 208 today. Once you're finished page 208 in looking at different ways to arrange 5 square units, then you will do task card number 3 if you're looking for something more to do. Also, I want to mention that in your Math Makes Sense book, there are pages that are outlined or aligned with blue, and those are your extra time pages. So on page 177, all the way to page 188, you'll find several activities that you can work on for extra time activities if you're looking for something more to do. There's some reading to do and some really fun math activities to help you refresh those math skills that we have already covered this year. And have a great day.